Now, from fantasies about immigrants eating pets to threats to deport millions of undocumented workers, immigration has been a big subject in this US election. In polls, voters frequently cite it as one of the subjects that's most important to them, but the campaign rhetoric rarely connects with the economic reality, which is that large-scale immigration is currently a vital part of US economic growth. Ritika Gupta has been to the heavily Republican Adams County in Pennsylvania to see one example of just that.
It is the peak of harvest season, when migrant workers travel to the US and spend their days toiling in the fields.
Without the migrant workers, I think a lot of places would be out of business, quite frankly.
Brett Lebo is a local grower in York Springs, a tiny, conservative-leaning borough in Adams County, Pennsylvania. In more recent years, he has had to expand his workforce, predominantly with migrant workers from Mexico. They operate under the H-2A temporary agricultural workers visa.
There's not enough local people to do the work that we need. They also provide a very stable and reliable workforce, and most of the men return year after year, so they're experienced and they're able to just come in and hit the ground running, and they do any training of new people themselves.
Here in Adams County, Pennsylvania, growing sustains the local economy. The area is located in the heart of a fertile valley, ideal for cultivating everything from flowers to fruit and vegetables. But the vitality of the region's agriculture industry and its ability to meet its labor needs rely heavily on foreign labor.
If the farmers would not be able to harvest all of their fruits and vegetables, then they would not be able to feed their own families, they would not be able to pay their local taxes, they would not be able to contribute back to society. And if we would have no harvest, then our food chain would be disrupted, as our fruits and vegetables go all across the country.
Immigration has become a top issue for voters in the 2024 election, with polls showing that a majority of Americans want the numbers to be reduced. But like many developed countries, the US is confronting an aging society and facing long-term population decline.
If immigration is lowered, reduced to zero, then in the next 35 years, the population of 18 to 44 years old, people who are going to contribute almost entirely the future workforce, that will shrink by 20%. So you can see what kind of huge impact a policy without an immigration would have on the US economy and the society.
This has prompted some states and municipalities, even in predominantly Republican areas like York Springs, to distance themselves from the wider anti-immigration sentiment. And for some growers, like Brett, immigration is critical for his business to survive.
Crops would rot on the vine, and we would not be able to do all this plant production without the migrant workers.
Ritika Gupta, BBC News, Adams County, Pennsylvania.